I didn't want to make this video, but after seeing a lot of reactions to it, I guess I have no choice. Sonic! A game originally made for the Sega Genesis to compete with Super Nintendo, which spawned many games in over 30 years, but many character design changes too. Hell, it even spawned a film series in the 2020s. Now I know what you're probably thinking. Why the hell are you talking about Sonic if you're a Mario fan? Well, believe it or not, I have a soft spot for the series, even if it's not as big as Mario. The first game console I've had was the Game Boy Color, the Nintendo DS, and later on the Nintendo 3DS XL, which came with a few Game Boy games, and a Game Boy Advance game, which was Pac-Man for the classic NES series. And I've also had a few DS games when I was little. And one of the first games I ever played besides Mario was Sonic the Hedgehog on Sonic Classic Collection, which was a port of Sonic games for the Nintendo DS. Oh, and by the way, no, I don't know why I had a Pokemon Kiss when I was a kid, but hey, what you gonna do about it? Plus, last year I got 3 games to play on my Nintendo DS and 3DS, which is cool. Which led me to play some and know all of Sonic's many games, with different variations too. Plus, the Sonic movies are totally better than the new Mario movie. Yeah, city! But then I saw a certain video, and like I said a minute ago, I'm gonna have to react to it, but in my own style. Might watch the Sonic 3 video. It's a lot like a Razor Blade video, because the reviews make no sense, because they make poor arguments, and it's all very painful to watch. Anyway, let's dive right in.
When a man becomes a father, he's called upon to make sacrifices for his family. And often these will be small sacrifices. Sometimes they'll be larger, though, more significant. And on even rarer occasion, the duties of fatherhood will require him to make the kind of sacrifice that, up to that moment, he would have thought himself incapable of making. These are the moments when a man must become a hero, when he must lay his very life on the line.
Yep, those are all the things a father should do to protect his family. But where are you going with this exactly?
And this may take many forms. Perhaps he's rushing into a burning building to rescue his child from the fire. Perhaps he has to pull his loved one away from the path of a speeding train because they've been tied to the tracks by bandits or whatever. Or most harrowing of all, he may be compelled by his paternal obligations to go to a movie theater and watch Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Now, a man in that situation would, of course, much prefer to be engulfed in flames or hit by a speeding train, but that would be the coward's way out. He endures Sonic the Hedgehog 3 for the sake of his children, whom he loves.
What? What the What? You can't say that random shit when you're talking about a movie you don't like. Are you sure you didn't watch Slow Mistake? You know, the worst animated film of all time? Yeah, I said it.
And over Christmas break, that is precisely the situation that I found myself in. For the record, I'll say I greatly enjoyed most of the time that I spent with my wife and kids these past 2 weeks. We had a lot of fun together. We played football. We played outside. We shot BB guns. We played card games and board games. I completely wrecked my whole family in Monopoly 2 nights in a row. Wasn't even close. We took the kids ice skating. I was ice skating. My wife and kids were left dumbstruck by my gracefulness and elegance on the ice. They didn't say that, but I know they were thinking it.
Okay, that's pretty good, but how does it make Sonic 3 bad exactly?
These were all wonderful experiences, yet things took a rather distressing turn on the final Thursday of the break when my 8-year-old son and 5-year-old daughter asked me to take them to go see Sonic the Hedgehog 3. And I did. God help me. God help me. I did. Now, before I offer my brief review of this thing that I hesitate to call a film, I must first acknowledge, in all fairness, I never saw Sonic the Hedgehog 1 or Sonic the Hedgehog 2. It's possible that one cannot fully appreciate the narrative complexities of Sonic the Hedgehog 3 without having seen the first 2 chapters in this epic Hedgehog saga. Maybe the other 2 movies are works of staggering artistic genius that would elevate the 3rd installment and lend it the sort of context necessary for me to have appreciated it and enjoyed it instead of feeling like I was being waterboarded with high fructose corn syrup the whole time. But I doubt it.
Are we sure this isn't a Razor Blade video? Because I'm getting really mad deja vu vibes. And how could you watch the 3rd movie without watching the other 2? Did your kids see it? Are you divorced? Are you a stepdad? Because how can your kids be Sonic fans if you don't know the brand?
Confess your secrets, you communist!
I mean, this is the kind of movie where Jim Carrey plays two characters. One is the evil villain, and the other is the evil villain's evil grandfather in old age makeup. And the two break into an impromptu dance routine that makes no narrative sense but lasts approximately 87 minutes. "87 minutes.
89 minutes, my ass. Remember, kids, don't do drugs.
Because drugs can kill. And if you do drugs, you go to hell before you die.
This has been a Superstar PSA.
It's the kind of movie where those same characters before the dance routine actually look directly into the camera and explain that they're being played by the same actor. I must assume, and I think assume safely, that there's nothing in the other two films that would make this one any less obnoxious or horrifically stupid.
Well, I have to break this to you, but you're wrong. If you actually watch the movie with your kids, there are a lot of meta jokes in the movies. Hell, here's an example of one from one of the video games.
What time is it? It's the exact same time as when you asked earlier, and it'll be the exact same time when you ask later. There is no time here! Let me just say that this was a brilliant plan that you came up with. Don't get too self-righteous. It'll be your plan pretty soon. I'm gonna dedicate the rest of my life to forgetting it. I heard that! Do we ever win? That depends on your definition of win. Beating Sonic? Oh, well then no. That doesn't give me much hope. Maybe I'll go back and get my teaching degree. That's not a bad idea. I've always enjoyed telling people what to do.
Plus, it gave us great memes like this.
Topic is Zawarudo. Diamonds aren't green, dick nips.
He's faster than Sonic. He's faster than Sonic. What?
I miss my wife, Tails. I miss her a lot. I'll be back.
That blue hedgehog again of all places.
I found you, Faker.
Faker? I think you're the fake hedgehog around here. You're going around being an ass. I mean, that fits me, but die.
I'll make you eat those words.
Perish.
Shadow. Actually, it's a really low-res JPEG.
I'm not going to bother explaining the plot of this film in any detail. I wasn't tracking it that closely, to be honest. I was mostly fighting to stay awake.
Excuse me, what?
I wasn't tracking it that closely, to be honest. I was mostly fighting to stay awake.
You didn't pay attention to the movie? And yet you still made a video and posted about it. Oh my god. Oh my god. No wonder this review is garbage. You barely paid attention to the movie and didn't know jack shit about it. And then you started posting this shit online. You're retarded as f***.
This is the kind of movie that bores you to the point of putting you to sleep, but also annoys you at the same time. It's kind of an odd combination to be both sleepy and deeply irritated simultaneously. As for the plot, I can only tell you that Sonic is the good hedgehog, which you may know. There's also an evil hedgehog voiced by Keanu Reeves, who, and I like Keanu Reeves, by the way, but like every other voice actor in this film and most voice actors in most children's films that have been made for the past 20 years, he has no talent as a voice actor and doesn't understand how to act with just your voice. But he's famous, so that's good enough, I suppose.
I don't know what the hell you expected this movie to be, but you're stupid. Let's take a look at Shadow the Hedgehog. Well, obviously his skin color is black and red to symbolize how emo he is, and how he's a bit more extreme than Sonic, which makes him a bit edgy and kind of makes him emo due to his dark past. I think Keanu Reeves does it really well by making him soft-spoken when he talks normally, and makes him sound more aggressive during the fight scenes. There, I proved it.
So Sonic has to stop the evil hedgehog and his evil cohorts, that's the Jim Carrey dancing duo I mentioned earlier, from blowing up the world with a big laser. And, this has been the evil plan of every evil villain in every blockbuster franchise film for the past 3 decades. It's a formula that this movie is not interested in deviating from. This is not the sort of movie that deviates from formulas.
Actually, the movie's based on the game your kids may or may not know. Well, which one was it? Oh, I don't know. Sonic Adventure 2? Where the main goal of the game is to battle Shadow for the Chaos Emeralds and to stop Dr. Eggman from taking over the world.
Piss on the earth. I'm gonna go higher. I'm pissing on the moon.
Now, if you're wondering why the evil hedgehog and the 2 Jim Carreys want to explode the world and murder 8 billion people in a cosmic blast that they will also die in, it's because the older Jim Carrey's granddaughter, I think, was killed, and now he wants to commit murder-suicide because life isn't worth living. Like, that's real. That's in the movie. He actually declares his suicidal intention as well.
I think he was taking the word suicidal for homicide. And also, about the remark earlier, they didn't want revenge for some random reason like, oh, she had cancer and that's why she died. No, Maria got killed in an explosion in this movie. Chad and General Robotnik wanted revenge on Gunn by creating a space odyssey arc so they could blow up the Earth. While Eggman just wants to take it over because he sees humanity as a tool and prefers machines over them. And if you actually watch the movie, you'd know that.
Now, if that seems like weirdly bleak and dark for a kid's movie where the characters bust out impromptu dance routines and randomly break the fourth wall and constantly speak in internet lingo from 2019, there's a lot of that, by the way. Just as one example, at one point, Jim Carrey says, "Damn you, autocorrect." If it seems weirdly bleak and dark for that kind of movie, it's because it is. This is a movie, like so many kids' movies these days, that schizophrenically darts back and forth from being ironic to painfully self-serious to goofy to earnest and so on and so on. It doesn't try to smooth over these tonal transitions with good writing or performances.
Well, I guess these films are a little bull.
The writing is just terrible, and the performances are atrocious across the board. Instead, it just flings it all against the wall haphazardly, because these are all bullet points that the movie studio knows it has to hit. Because this movie, again, like so many kids' movies these days, is not the fulfillment of anyone's creative vision. It is just the product of a corporate algorithm. It is loud and ugly and obnoxious and disjointed because nobody who made the film actually cared about making a good film. And they have absolutely no respect for their audience.
Okay. Look. It's okay to do something you don't want to do for your family. And that's fine. And it's also okay to be out of your comfort zone sometimes. But here's the thing. If Paramount didn't care about the Sonic movies, then why did they change the design so everyone can watch it? Hell, if they didn't change the design, we wouldn't get a second one. Or hell, even a third one that you presumably hate. Hell, while you're at it, they literally could have done anything for a Sonic movie. They would have made a movie about how Eggman and Sonic became from prehistoric eggs and hedgehogs. Sonic could have become a Tumblr sexy man. For some reason? Hell, it could have gotten the Amazing Spider-Man treatment. Everything is stupid and it looks too flashy. Or be a terrible adaptation, where they treat their audience like idiots and all the characters are a bunch of bastards. Before we move any further, please like and subscribe to secure my sanity because it's giving me a really big headache.
I mean, this movie could have been made by AI. We are at a point. If they start making movies with AI, we would not know the difference because they've effectively been doing that for 20 years now.
Well, it was either the movie or your review. Oh, wait.
Now, you might respond here, as many people on Twitter did after I gave a very brief review of this film in a tweet on the site a few days ago. You might respond that, well, this movie isn't for me. It's for kids. Well, first of all, tell that to the other people in the theater with us. I can tell you that my kids were by far the youngest people in attendance. There were multiple groups of adults, just adults, no kids, whole groups of them who bought tickets to Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Well, yeah, because the movie was made for the fan base in mind. That's why most fans went to go see it in the theaters.
Second, and this is most important, and it shouldn't need to be explained, but really it does, and that's really my only point here. It is possible to make a children's movie that, although it's for children, is still a good, high-quality piece of art. I don't hate children's movies just because they're for children. Quite the opposite. As a father of 6, I've watched many, many children's movies. Okay, I've watched way more than the average person because I have so many kids. And I greatly appreciate the good ones. A few nights ago, just as an example, we watched the movie Iron Giant with my kids, and that's an animated children's film. It's also well-written, beautifully illustrated, brilliantly performed, tonally consistent. It's funny and heartwarming, and at points it's sad, but it works all of that in a way that feels natural to the story. It's a children's film, and it's also a great film, one that I can watch and also enjoy. Because as it turns out, children's movies are not just for children. They're for parents too. Or at least they should be. Okay, if a kid's movie or kid's show is so grating and so dumb and so unpleasant that parents can't stand to be in the same room while it's on, that doesn't mean it's for kids. It isn't for kids. It isn't for anyone. It's just bad.
Yeah, I think he's lying about being a father so he can make up a bullshit excuse all like the movie is bad.
Also, tell it to the multiple grown adults who got angry at me on Twitter for not liking the movie. The funny thing is that a lot of those same people say, well, it's not for you, it's for kids. Why are you getting so upset about it then? Why are you tearfully defending a movie that you claim is not for you either?
That's no good.
In fact, one person told me that my negative comments had upset, and I'm repeating this phrase verbatim, had upset the, quote, Sonic community. Now, those are not kids who identify themselves as members of the Sonic community. My 8-year-old loves Sonic, but he's not on Twitter furiously defending the Sonic community from its detractors. So I agree that these kinds of movies are for kids, but I am not the one who needs to be told that, okay?
Oh, really? Okay, let's play a little game then. Okay, who said that the movie was lazy because it wasn't original and all the performances were awful? That was you. Who's the one that clearly didn't pay attention to the movie and yet made a review anyway? That was you. Also, who's the one that's lying about being a father just so he could say that the movie was bad without even paying attention to it? That was you. No wonder you made everyone pissed off at you. And rightfully so. Also, in case you do another movie review like this again, make sure to have points and actually prove it. Okay?
And the fact that people say, well, of course it's bad, it's for kids, tells you everything you need to know about our culture. They act like it's ridiculous to expect the content produced for kids to be high quality or to have any artistic merit whatsoever. But I tend to think exactly the opposite. I think content produced for kids should especially be high quality and should especially have artistic merit, which is why I hated Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and why it is today, I must say, sadly, canceled.
What? Can you repeat that for me?
Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is canceled.
Yeah, so this person who made this cancer of a movie claimed that he wasn't racist. And you know what? I bet you just watched the trailer and that was all it. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. Kind of like Razor Blade, to be honest. Wow, that was a thing. I'm sorry this video, kind of feels a bit rushed. But what else is there to say about it? He's a hypocrite, for one. He didn't pay attention to the movie, and he's lying about being a father, just so everyone can agree with him. But overall, though, it's just a complete mess. Yeah, he's supposedly a journalist. If you want to hear some, good criticism, go to Fanostrator, Schaefer's Productions, or hell, I recommend you check out these videos, because they're pretty underrated. And if you're curious, please subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Anyway, that was the video, and man, do I have a migraine over this. See you later.
Do the Mario, swing your arms from side to side. Come on, it's time to go. Do the Mario, take one step, and then again, let's do the Mario all together now. You got it. It's the Mario. Do the Mario, swing your arms from side to side. Come on, it's time